If you are an early childhood educator, there's a good chance you have contemplated on becoming a member of your state affiliate of NAEYC. It's a question I asked myself a long time ago when I started my career, and the answer was absolutely I wanted to. But I thought it would be more interesting as I reflected on learning what all the different state affiliates are doing and how you can be a part of it. So today we are joined with Wendy O from Florida, FLAEYC, Florida State Affiliate for NAEYC, and we're going to talk about what they are doing to support their workforce in Florida. Now, if you don't live in Florida, that's okay. They are doing some interesting things that I think you will see across other states as we move forward. So stay tuned to the Child Care Director's Chair podcast. Are you an early childhood educator looking for support and growth in your career? In this episode, we'll dive into how state affiliates, AEYC, are empowering educators like you with professional development, mentorship, and valuable resources to help you thrive in the classroom and beyond. So stay tuned to discover the tools that can help you take your career to the next level with our friends from FLAEYC. And we are joined with Executive Director Wendy. Wendy, please help me with your last name.
It's Occhipinti.
Occhipinti. Okay, not bad. Yeah, no one ever gets my last name right either, so I just figured I won't butcher it on you. So welcome to the show from sunny Florida.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Yeah. So Wendy and I met at the FLAEYC conference a few months ago. Gosh, was it like 2 months ago?
I
feel like it was it last month?
Yeah, it was about a little over a month ago.
But it was so well organized and such a so the people there were wonderful. The participants were great. The vendors were great. I had a wonderful time. I really, really did. So we were very happy to be there with our podcast. And so you guys were celebrating 65 years, 60.
We've been here for quite a long time in Florida, but as the Florida affiliate, we're heading into 65 years.
That's amazing. So yeah. Congratulations. So you guys have been on high quality for quite some time there in Florida.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it showed. Absolutely. It definitely showed at your conference. So tell folks a little bit about the work that you guys have been doing recently, and we'll talk a little bit about how you're supporting early educators in your state.
Sure. So I've been with FLAEYC for about 3.5 years. And when I came on, it was really to push accreditation support and promoting high quality early education. So that's been the key focus of FLAEYC for years and years, right? How do we promote high quality? How do we ensure that every kid in Florida is getting a high quality experience, no matter, where they're attending? So with that, we do a lot of professional development. This year, when I came on as executive director, we really were focusing on the educator. While we have a lot of educators who are members, we also have a lot of owners and administrators, and they tend to be the ones who kind of come and show up to a lot of things. We were hearing that educators kind of feel like, don't fill out our surveys and things because they're like, well, that's not for me to fill out. That's for my director to fill out. So we're really like, no, it's for you to fill out. We're here for you. We're really here for the educator. So we've started some initiatives this year. We do a monthly Teachers Teaching Teachers feature where we found that teachers want to hear from other teachers.
Yeah.
So we highlight what they're doing in the classroom. It's interactive. It's networking. It allows them to have their own space. And that's a space that's just specifically for educators. We do a lot of work on building leadership within our membership. So this year we're doing a cohort and advocacy leadership training cohort in preparation for NAEYC's Public Policy Forum in February. And we're hoping to build those leaders to grow and become leaders within FLAEYC. We're very proud that on our board of directors, we have 2 early childhood educators that are on our board. One is a toddler teacher, one teaches 3-year-olds. So that's really been our focus this year, and we're excited to continue that. We're hoping to host a leadership training program specifically for educators this year. And as we build towards, we do the conference every year and other professional development throughout the year.
Mm. I love that you have, folks that are in the classrooms represented on your board, because I do think that that's so important. And it's a great way for you guys to keep your finger on the pulse of what's really happening, right? Because as well-meaning as folks are that are removed from center work or in programs, it's hard because especially if you were in a building, 10 years ago, it looks so different now, right? So you cannot possibly understand if you haven't been in a center in the last, 5 years, after COVID.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I found too, and I'm sure this has a lot to do with the state that you're in, but there was tremendous support for a Spanish speaking community. And I met so many folks and do you have, I don't even remember the name now, but there's some type of initiative or something where I kept meeting people who were Spanish speaking and they were telling me they were part of some type of group. Do you guys have something that happens in your state where they are supporting Spanish speaking folks?
Well, there's a lot of support throughout Florida for Spanish
Yeah,
speaking
they used a lot of
educators.
acronyms that I didn't know that I had
Yeah,
never heard of before.
absolutely. Absolutely. I can't think off the top of my head what you might be referring to, but yeah,
Okay.
there's especially in the Miami area.
Okay.
So when we do, we have some consultants that work with us that help centers go through NACE accreditation, and we have 2 consultants who are Spanish speaking. So we really recognize that. We try to make at least 1 session per time slot during
Yes.
the conference, as a track specifically in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
We would love to do translation services, but that's often too costly to provide that it would offset like the registration fees and things would have to increase. So, we really try to keep our conference at a reasonable registration rate.
Yeah, sure.
Knowing what our educators are
Access.
making.
Access. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, can you explain the role of affiliates in terms of supporting early childhood educators and how they contribute to the overall strength of the ECE workforce?
Yeah. So, it's funny because because I go to exhibit and I talk about FLAEYC and people are like, well, what do you do? And I say we do everything that NACE does on a national level, we do on a state level. So they do a conference, we do a statewide conference. They advocate at the national level, we advocate at the state level. We provide networking opportunities at a state level and a local level. We have chapters throughout the state that do, in local areas that really get those hands-on and really that touch points with the educators right where they are. We also have a statewide chapter on play. We're kind of unique in that. I think we're the only affiliate across the country that has a chapter totally devoted to play. But really, what I think is so amazing about the local, the state affiliates is that we really get to understand what's going on in our state.
Yeah.
And what are the pain points? What are the key issues that educators are feeling within the state? I moved to Florida from New Jersey, so it's a very different system. While we're all educators, there's very different things going on. And as the state affiliate, we get to bring those issues and those concerns up to the national level. So it's heard, both statewide and nationally. I also think when I moved to Florida, FLAEYC, their members are so passionate. And I think there's just something to be said about being around people who get who you are and get why you want to hang around small children all day long. I started out a long time ago as a preschool teacher teaching 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds. And I used to enjoy going to the New Jersey affiliate conference because I was around my people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm sure all state affiliates feel wonderful about their group. And but I could say that I felt that passion when I was up there. I mean, it was undeniable. The people were just super engaged, and they went to every vendor booth just about. They were talking to all of us. You know, they were very excited to be there. They were very happy to be there, especially on
Yeah.
Saturday when the teachers came in. Like
Yeah.
because
And
obviously they were at.
we held our conference right after two major hurricanes,
Yes.
and we were really thinking hard about, do we cancel it? Do we change it? And we decided to keep it going, mostly because there were many times people don't have electric or water. And I'm
Sure.
like, well, at least it will give them a place to go. Right.
Yeah.
But everybody who asked, did we cancel it? Are we changing it? When we said no, their response was, oh, thank
God.
goodness,
Yeah.
because we need to be together.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that's unique to Florida or all educators, but it's definitely
Yeah.
something that is the Florida feeling
Yeah.
of early childhood education here.
Yeah. My family were like, are you really going to go? Because I even think at that point they were saying maybe another storm was coming in. And I was like, you know what? If there's any place that's where I'm going to go right now. Because again, that sense of community that like we're going to get through it. This is what we do as we're resilient, right? Just like the children that were
Yeah.
around, we're resilient. So,
Yeah.
you could see that. So let's talk about mentorship. Like mentorship seems to play a key role for educators and supporting educators. Can you talk a little bit about how your state affiliate facilitates mentorship opportunities and maybe how those relationships impact educators' growth and retention in the field?
Yeah. So we don't have like a mentorship program per se, but I think when educators become involved with FLAEYC within their chapters, and we kind of build leaders from the ground up, and they see other educators who are like them with our teachers teaching teachers, monthly meetings, with our leadership development courses, with the fact that we have educators on our board. They see themselves as, hey, I can grow within this profession, not just, going from a teacher to a lead teacher or to a director. There's other areas that you can make a difference. I always think even about myself. I was a 2-year-old teacher, when I first started. And honestly, I thought I would just be a preschool teacher for, ever. I became a director. And if you told me that day I went in and was a 2-year-old teacher and I was going to become the executive director of FLAEYC, I would have thought you were completely crazy. But it's definitely, I think, where we're headed as we really focus on the educator. And it's so important for those educators to have support with their peers. That's what we're seeing, right? Networking with their peers. And outside of their own center, I think it's important for them to connect with educators in other centers, and also educators in centers that have a different structure than they do, right? Like a center that might be Reggio, or a center that's Montessori, or a center that's faith-based, like centers that have full day care, centers that only do part-time care, family child care centers. We have a lot of members that are family child care homes, and we have a great relationship with Florida has a family child care home association, and we have a great relationship with that organization because we feel like we need to support all educators in the early childhood field.
I could not agree more with that statement. Well, there's an interesting fact. So our podcast has been out for about a year, and Florida is like our second largest listening state. Yeah. So
Really?
I think I thought that was pretty cool. So
That's cool.
again, that just tells you how actively involved the folks are down in your state. So let's talk a little bit about certification programs that might be available through your state affiliate. Actually, before we go to that, I want to talk a little bit about what are some, you kind of mentioned a little bit, but what are some of the networking opportunities you have in your state, and like how frequently are they? I heard you say something about leadership meets monthly.
Yeah. So we have a lot of different monthly meetings. So, and they're based on topics or interests. So we have a One Voice Advocacy Coalition that meets monthly, where we talk about what's going on in the state. During legislative session, we take that information and we gear it towards how does this affect you in your center, right? What is this going to look like in your center, in your classroom? And then we kind of talk about what are the issues that you're seeing. FLAEYC, we are a member of the Early Learning Consortium here in Florida, which is a group of organizations.
That was it. The ELC. Yep. That was it. That I met a lot of folks from the ELC. Yes, that was it.
So these are a group of different organizations who are very passionate about advocating for the early childhood field. And we come together, we all have different, say, goals or different things that we're advocating for, but we feel it's important that when we're talking up during legislative session to different representatives, that we all are speaking one message. So we work together to do that. And now I feel like I've gotten off the topic, but so we do at this One Voice Advocacy Coalition, the meetings, we kind of get this information. We learn what are the challenges you're facing. Because just like you said before, I haven't been in the classroom since, oh my gosh, it's like 6 or 7 years ago. So while I say I'm an educator or I'm a director, I don't have the direct experience anymore. So I need to hear those stories and hear that information from the folks who are in the field. So that's what those meetings are. And they're very interactive. And we really want to hear everybody's struggles and challenges and things that are issues that they're dealing with. We also hold accreditation peer groups monthly. These are for centers who want to go through NAEYC accreditation, are in the process of NAEYC accreditation, have been accredited. This is where we get together and talk about what are those standards? What does this look like in your classroom? How do you do this? What are policies and procedures that you use? So this is a group that meets monthly just specifically on accreditation and quality. Then we have our Teachers Teaching Teachers, which meet monthly, talking about different topics. One was about process art. We've been talking about sensory space. How do you create sensory spaces in your classroom? What kind of materials can you use? And we partner with different organizations to kind of talk through those pieces and also have teachers presenting as well. So we have our new advocacy leadership training program that's going where we're having 10 advocates from our membership. They had to apply and they were reviewed and we're going to public policy forum. But we're doing some pre-working sessions before that. We're doing a meet and greet. We're doing training sessions on what's the legislative, the early childhood landscape in Florida, what's in the federal. We're doing how do you create your elevator speech, and we're going to practice them before we get there. We were excited. One of our board members had run for office. Unfortunately, she didn't win, but she has perfected the elevator speech and how to deal with when people are not so nice when you're trying to ask and talk about what's going on in your state. So, yeah. And then we have our local chapters. Our play chapter does yearly book studies where they have a book, a research-based topic book that they read and they discuss, and then they do some practice things in their classrooms and they bring it back. And our chapters hold local conferences and do local trainings and just networking nights and get-togethers,
Sounds
paint
fun.
and sip parties and bowling.
Yeah. Just
to get everybody together and sometimes you want to just be together.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I think that helps build camaraderie with your membership. So these things that you do, is this board members or is this open to all members?
This is open to all of
everybody.
Our members.
I love everybody. That. I love that.
Yep.
So, are there any type of certificate programs or certification programs that you offer in your state?
We don't offer any certificate programs. We do partner with CCEI is one of our big sponsors and partners that provides discounts for anybody who's looking to get a national CDA, or Florida has their own equivalent of a CDA called an FCCPC. Down here in Florida, you have to get a staff credential or a director's credential when you're going into a child care center. And we do provide training, and we provide CEU credits for different trainings throughout the state.
Okay. Looking ahead, what additional resources or supports do you think that you might roll out in Florida that folks can look forward to, or things that might be in the works, or if you had to just...
Yeah, well, we're hoping this advocacy leadership training program is something we can do each year. We're hoping that this group becomes mentors for additional groups moving forward. And we're excited to start our educator leadership program. That's something new that's going to be coming out in the spring. And we're hoping, again, to build those leaders within the organization so that they can join our board, join some committees. We do have committees that are run by board members, but we also allow some of our membership to be part of committees so that they kind of get a feel of what it's like to kind of be on the FLAEYC board, and then kind of grow them that way.
Oh, well, that's really brilliant. And I heard you say, something about a discount. So what other kind of benefits do folks have? I mean, you've certainly mentioned a lot, but are there any other type of benefits or discounts, things like that you think people should know about being a member of your organization?
So we have discounts for training specific to FLAEYC. We have discounts for with CCEI. We also have discounts on registration for the conference. If there's any FLAEYC professional development that's provided, all of our members get free CEUs for that as well. I know, and also at the national level. So we are an affiliate of NAEYC, but also SECA.
Okay.
So then they get, depending on where their membership, they get discounts and things from those national organizations.
Nice. Very good. So is there anything that you want folks to know about your affiliate that I didn't ask?
I think what I want most people to know is that we are really here for you. Our goal is always to be like, what can we do that when you go into your classroom on Monday or your center on Monday, that you feel like you're supported and you feel somebody will listen, somebody can get you an answer. We are always there. If anybody calls, we'll even answer questions that have nothing to do with us. I'll do research and I'll find an answer for anybody. I'm like, I got you. I'll find it out and get back to you. But really to feel that you're part of something that's really important, because I feel like there's a lot of talk about how important early childhood is and early childhood educators, but I don't think that they necessarily feel that daily, right?
Yeah.
We hear a lot of talk about that, but then there's not a lot of action being done to really make their lives better. So we're trying to do that. It's a big task, but we're trying.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you guys are I think the first step is being aware, right? Being aware, like, we need these voices, and then making a space for those voices. So, I think that we all appreciate that. So, I guess that is probably it for our interview. I would love for you to share how folks can connect with you if you are in Florida and thinking about, you really are looking for supports. Wendy, tell them where they find you.
So you can find us on our website, which is FLAEYC.org. That's FLAEYC.org. You can always email me, which is Wendy. It's easy. It's Wendy O at FLAEYC.org. We tried to make it so nobody had to do my last name. And on our website, there's a phone number. You can call us, follow us on social media. Our social media guru is one of our board members. And she is an educator, and you can see that when you look at, we like to provide tips and tricks. She's really kind of fun. Check out our social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for tuning into the Child Care Directors Share podcast. I'm your host, Erica Sacosio. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, wherever it might be, on the bottom top, and leave a comment below. Let us know how you liked today's episode and if you have any other questions about your state affiliate in your state. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into our channel today. And I hope that you really enjoyed our episode. I just want to personally invite you to come on out. I'm very excited for our first early childhood conference with me and Noelle. We are putting together the Early Childhood Empowerment Conference held on May 2nd and 3rd here in beautiful Warwick, Rhode Island. Super easy to fly in. We have TF Green, one of the best airports in the country. Easy in, easy out. Our conference will be held at the Crown Plaza. Beautiful facility. We're going to have amazing keynotes. We're going to have very fun, interactive, no sleeping anymore, snoozing at the conference. Fun, interactive breakout sessions where you will leave with actionable tips. We will inspire you. We will help you learn, but we also want you to leave with tips that you can use right now when you get to your center. So check the link below. Again, May 2nd and 3rd, Early Childhood Empowerment Conference here in Warwick, Rhode Island. And tell them that the Child Care Director's Chair sent you.